Welcome back, you all, to the recap room.
Welcome back,
I am
everyone.
TK. If y'all don't already know, if y'all are new to the spot,
Okay, the host,
yeah. And then I
the
have
mastermind, the
oh
man, the
oh,
myth, the
oh
legend.
please no, that is you. Dougie keeps me cracking up. And here we have Dougie with me.
Welcome back, everybody. How
Uh,
we feeling?
I'm feeling I'm feeling okay.
Okay,
I'm feeling pretty
good.
good.
As you should.
I just I wanted to come on here and then put it out there because I think
Mm-hmm.
I kind of I don't give myself enough credit,
Absolutely.
when it talks
I'm gonna tell you, talk it up. Go ahead.
when it comes to the things that I do. I'm starting to feel like Shamia, just breaking out into my own
Hello.
person.
Never
It's,
had.
instead of being in the shadows of other people, I am, this is the season for identity.
And I'm so excited. You have a lot of things going on, a lot of things in the works, and all of it is good quality. So, like, once you like refine it and really, you know what I'm saying, lock in the lab, I'm telling you,
Thank
it's
you.
gonna work.
Um, how many more Superman movies are they gonna make? I'm sorry, that was off topic, but
Well, and I've never seen one, so yes, thank you.
on the way here, I said, "Good Lord, how many times?" But no, let me get back on topic.
Mm.
I brought my lemonade to share with Dougie. Dougie, what do you think? Your honest opinion?
Y'all, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, he wouldn't tell me the recipe, which is supposed to be a secret right now because he's in the lab. However, y'all, this lemonade is good. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, it's good.
I wanted to do lemonade
It's good.
because anyone that knows me, knows that I drink mostly water.
Okay, I'll say I love lemonade.
I don't drink it, and it has to be purified water.
Okay.
Don't give me
No
no tap.
spring, period.
No tap, no
I don't
Deer
do.
Park,
Thank you.
not even Deer Park. That's but
I don't even play with that stuff either. So I'm good. I'm right there. I'm with you when you're right.
so I said, well, I want to do something. I don't really drink pop, and it's the summertime, and everyone loves a good lemonade.
Baby, I could be a lemon.
If y'all gonna pay the money to go give it to Chick-fil-A, y'all might as well come and
Hello.
you know,
Support local. Support black.
okay.
Thank you.
And it does support all the other things that I have going on. I am, like I said, I am an artist, visual artist. So when I set up, y'all will be seeing a few of my pieces behind us
Listen,
as we operate, and
and
I
it's
get
good
to.
work. I can't wait to move because I will definitely put in my request.
Oh well,
Thank you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Um, but yes, let's get into the episode. I am actually excited. I am this.
Season finale. And I hate that it took for us to have to like the season dragged, and then the last two episodes they want to really
They
get
want to
into
tussle,
everything. Like, come
and
on.
and it's just I don't know how you want to do it. Well, first I wanted to ask you, what do you think of the ladies' performance? How what do you who do you think came to work and gave us good TV?
I feel like Drew came to work.
Hmm.
She definitely handled hers this season. I think um, Angela, of course, per
Hmm.
usual, she's my number one. Um, Shamia started strong and then
Hmm.
she turned in. So I feel like pretty much everybody came to work.
Hmm.
And this is no shade, this is no hate. I'm telling you, except really Portia and Phaedra. No shade, but that's just me.
You don't think they came to work?
I think Portia came to work. I just don't think she was expecting to have to do as much as she did.
Mm.
I think she thought she was just gonna come in and coast on by and just, oh, I'm a returning housewife, blah, 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 blah. But, some of the girls pulled your cards.
Yeah.
You fell out with your best friend. You and Drew had an ongoing. We really never got a closure to the whole Angela and Portia Charles situation. So
Hmm.
it's like a lot of things kind of arose this season that I kind of wanted her to like,
Hmm.
really get in the field about. But nonetheless, she was here, and I mean, it was important, so I'll take it. That's fine.
Well, she definitely thought it was going to be the Portia show.
Yeah.
And with her not being able to talk much about this, a divorce,
Yeah.
she squeezed whatever she could. I
I
would
mean,
say on Portia's behalf, I do believe she gave us good little moments. We love Portia for who she is. We already know how she operates. I don't think it was a big surprise about her and Simon getting together.
yeah.
Um, it just sh- what is understood needs no explanation. So Portia,
Absolutely.
we're with you, but
I'll take it. You know,
it was good to see
she had
her,
restrictions and limitations, so I guess that's fair. That's right.
and I think the drama with her, and we can get more into it as we talk about the event and Angela.
Yeah.
Oh God. Um, I think Angela saw it for what it was. She addressed Portia, and
Okay.
that was it.
Yeah.
Portia, I think, she's smart. She's been in the game with Bravo for a long time, so she understands what it means to go on, and let bygones be bygones. She
Yeah.
knew she was wrong, and I guess she's gonna wait until the reunion to own up to it. But Portia all season was just kind of like, I said it,
Well, yeah. I mean, listen. Well, yes.
and kind of like didn't admit that she said it, but just kind of like blew it off, like, oh, girl, I just be talking. But that's really what was going on.
Yeah.
So I think Angela understood that, just was like, okay, Portia, I'm not the one to play with. And
Right.
Portia understood the formula. She's been doing this for a while, and Angela, she's understanding that Angela is a golden season housewife. So
Yeah.
she's like, okay,
And that-
I'm not going to
yeah.
mess with Charles too much. So
It would behoove her not to.
yeah. So I think after that, anybody else, Drew and Britt, they were pulling from Portia.
Yeah.
They were making her come
Yeah.
to work. But you want to get right into the
I mean, whatever. I'm right with you. Where's the train going?
So the opening scene, Portia reveals, her cousin passed. I'm not sure if they specified what happened.
I don't think they did.
They didn't. Okay. Well, I don't want to touch too much on that, but
R.I.P. Londi, honey.
yes. Britt and Shamia, so they are preparing for Shamia's performance, her showcase. Now, what do you think about Shamia's performance?
I mean, Shamia spent the coin. The production, she had a whole auditorium set up. She had the dancers. She had the lighting. She had about 12 costume changes. So A for effort. And I mean, don't get me. Well, okay. How can I put this? Well, Drew said, because I can't vouch for the vocals because I wasn't there. What I liked on the screen sounded good because I think they added a backtrack. Drew said that the vocals were,
Drew's so
lukewarm.
shady.
But my thing is, can we take Drew's opinion? Yes, because she's the resident, singer of the group so far. So, I mean, I'm just going based off what Drew shared. Okay. My thing is, I like what I saw, so I'll take it.
You have to take into account that this was her first
Real
show, big
by herself.
showcase by herself.
Yeah.
And like you said, we see she had the coin to do it. She gave herself grace. Shamia has nothing to prove. She's
Absolutely not.
multi-talented, and she can go in any area and dominate if she really wanted
That's
to.
a given.
So for this to be the first performance, Bravo's shady. They're gonna show her crack. They're gonna show, but it gives room for us to see her improve if this is something that she wants
That
to do in
she's
the
serious
future.
about, absolutely.
So Shamia,
And what's crazy is, because I said this, I really enjoyed her songs out of, a lot of the other housewives who has released music before. So I really feel like she has the potential to be able to, take it all the way there.
Right.
So for the showcase, I thought it was good.
and I don't remember Drew's vocal performance.
At last season's reunion,
That was good. No, but that was good, actually. Oh, well,
sips lemonade.
it was cute.
It was cute.
It was kind of misplaced
just-
too. I'm not a big. When Kim and Candy performed at the reunion, I think that I was done with performances.
Yeah.
Unless you. I'm done with performances. Let me just say
Well,
that.
yes.
So Drew she didn't even have a stage. She just stood right up in front of everyone and started singing with her.
Maybe it was just awkward because
It was.
you're at a reunion, and then it's you're singing a song that's really about not being in love with your husband or like
Then
you're
your husband's
divorced and
right
your
there.
husband is sitting right there. Like, I don't know. That was kind of crazy. But yes, I thought Shamia did a great job. So, all in
Yeah.
all.
Um. Yeah. So then after, Shamia comes off the stage. Um. You know, they understand that the season is wrapping up. They have to resolve these issues and have the conversation. She has a conversation with Miss Britt of the Edie's, and Britt was, I forget. Oh, Cynthia was the one that told Shamia that Britt
Brett
has
has saw
said
the text
yes,
messages.
and you know she wanted to have that conversation. Shamia called her a liar, and then Britt came with the, well, were you really in my? I mean, were you really concerned about your daughter since you went to what, Miami?
Yeah.
How do you feel about when they talk about husbands and children are off limits? Do you think Britt did as much damage? Do you think that was a low blow for? And the reason I
I,
say this is because last week we saw she talked about Kelly's abortions. Now,
oh, that's a good
these
point.
are all separate. Everything that Britt has done up until this point has been separate things with separate people.
Yeah.
And I think each time she's kind of just not done things in the best way.
Yeah.
But I do think to give her some type of grace, I'm always giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
But just to give her grace, I don't think Shamia needs to. Shamia will hold on to something
She will.
for a while now, but I don't think that was something for her to hold on to say. She was talking about her mothering. I don't believe she was talking about her daughter. But there was also a rumor going around that for a while, I remember people were saying that Britt had said something about her daughter having disabilities. And now that we're up until this point, Britt has not said that. There has been
Yeah.
nothing on camera to show that Britt has said anything about her daughter. But how do you feel about this situation?
Me personally, I feel like it was uncalled for. There wasn't really any mentioning of children in the conversation before Britt decided to bring that to the forefront. So would I consider that a low blow? Yes. And I guess I feel more partially towards Shamia when it comes to children, considering her situation with her child that she's been very open about all season. So I feel like mentioning kids in any capacity is
Yeah.
wrong, but especially Shamia. Like, girl, come on, you know that's a sensitive subject for her, especially considering that you all sat in Grenada in the living room of Shamia's villa, and she had the whole breakdown, and you're in her face. I swear, it don't matter what we go through. We are, you're doing all that. So I'm kind of like, so it just felt morally wrong to me. So I do feel like that was a low blow. However, I also do see the other side of it, which me, because it's like, girl, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you've already done the work to get past whatever the situation you had with Portia was, considering the whole best friend debacle, whatever, whatever. So I feel like, okay, just say that, you know what I'm saying, you was upset, you and Portia was beefing, you know what I'm saying, you didn't know what the relationship was going to end up like, so yeah, you had a moment where you wanted to talk and vent to some girls, you know what I'm saying, da-da-da, and then my thing is, if you and Portia were friends, okay, she can probably be like, girl, that was dead wrong, but then y'all can get past it like y'all got through everything else, so I'm like, just go ahead and own up to it, you know what I'm saying, and just get it over with, because when you do this whole back and then it, and I said this before, y'all know Brittany play dirt. I don't know why I keep getting that girl started. Y'all know when she gets started, she has no boundaries. She is gonna take it there. Y'all know that. So my thing is, Shamia, you know what I'm saying? You tried to come to her with it, and she tried to keep it real. And then when you started acting like she had to turn up. I don't even know why I keep playing with that girl.
And
I don't.
I think what is happening and the series of events that have happened like up until now, we are kind of like, Britt, we would have been rooting for you because she really turned it up these
She
past couple of
does.
episodes.
She does.
And I think it's just because she got tired. Like, she kind of lost her best friend that she came in with, and then she sided with Shamia and started becoming her best friend. And then, the thoughts about donating and everything, that brought something out of Kelly to address with her as
Which
well.
is so.
I,
And I feel like Britt tried to clean her image up, considering how she started the season. So she didn't necessarily want the girls to take like her new sense of like, you know,
being a new
you like
housewife,
you're
being
trying to like be a lighter hearted housewife for weakness, because we know she can get nasty. But I feel like the girls kept trying her, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I
And I'm
feel
not excusing what Britt did. I am just saying that I did begin to see a change in her from when she started, and she wanted to be more like, you know, collaborative, and and then when she tries to get the chance, all the girls want to turn on her. So it's kind of like, well, dang, do y'all want her to be mean? Do y'all want her to be a team player? Which one is it?
uh,
Especially with Kelly and Shamia, because like now y'all new besties, and now y'all gunning for Brett. What's going on here? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, what's that about? A little bit. No
And
shade.
and Bert really is a good time. She
She
really, you can
is.
tell she just loves to be in the room.
Yeah.
She just likes
Well,
to be there.
period. I
And
mean,
who wouldn't? For the position of a housewife, I want to be in the room.
hand me the peach.
Exactly.
Please.
So I understand that, but she went the extra mile, and as we talk about, let's just get to the meat and potatoes,
mean-
because to try to understand Brit's motivation and what she did, I don't think she really thought it through.
I think she just said stuff without absolutely. That's what I'm saying. When y'all get her started, she opens up the door and she's pulling whatever she can. She's not thinking about, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like her approach is, let me get you before you get me.
Exactly.
No shade. That's
Exactly.
what she gives.
Um. So Angela talks to her therapist. I guess either therapist or marriage counselor.
One of same
them.
thing, child.
And she reveals, that she is now trusting Charles, and that she had to go through, a lot with Charles and his infidelity. And she's just been honest. She's putting it out there. Um, and you could see Angela was really hurt because she's made a lot of these mistakes. I can say that Angela is not the type to be. She's the housewife that's going to get her hustle on. Yes, she married Charles Oakley, but you can tell her efforts to be her own woman and work
She gets her own
behind the scenes.
bag.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
work behind the scenes. It really touched me. I don't know why, but it was just like that conversation. Carlos King did her interview. Oh, don't forget to. We're gonna come back to Carlos
Okay.
King and Andy,
Okay.
and what Bravo needs to do.
Okay.
But on his interview with Angela Oakley, she was saying, her relationship with Larry King, and having that conversation, like, talking to him about what she wanted to do in the background. And she was like, this is not for me, but, I just like working in the background, being and supporting my husband.
Yeah.
So her going and having these homes in foreclosure was a lot. To put that to the public was a lot on national television. And then having these ladies not really know what's going on behind closed doors. And even a strong woman like Angela, it was hard to see her break down.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of like, what was the motive of the person that did it? Now, mind you, listen, when they were in Grenada and they brought the cake out, it seemed as if everybody was kind of on the same page as supporting her, because it hit hard that optics, right?
Yeah.
Charles didn't come to Grenada, and he didn't seem so excited to talk on the phone for their anniversary. You would think that the ladies would have a soft spot for Angela at this point. Who do you think? Do you think, like, should we go on into the mess? Because I think this whole episode just kind of makes you jump around. So, what do you think? Who do you think set it up to hurt Angela? Because she's hurt.
Can I be honest?
Go ahead.
I don't think anybody set it up. I'm gonna be honest.
Do you think she did it herself?
I think she did it herself.
You really do?
I'm not gonna lie. Because my thing is, I'm trying to think about who really would care enough to really go through all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, well,
this is the thing. This is what's getting me is that social media. As I watched the episode,
Yeah.
I already knew like, okay, we're gonna jump to the event
It's fine, yeah.
because that's where everything kind of blows
Yeah.
up.
Which was a beautiful event.
It
It was a
was
beautiful event.
great, great event, and the way they honored Portia was beautiful
Yeah.
as well, and it showed they're moving forward in their
Yes.
friendship.
Mhm.
Um, as I watched things unfold, when Angela started bringing Marcus and
Just
everything,
understand, like,
I knew exactly then and there what was going on. I don't
yeah.
know why. It just was like, oh, this is a setup. Like
Yeah.
Angela is a part of this
Yeah.
scheme in some way, some sort. So
A scheme
that
set up by Todd
to
come to you with the
bullshit.
okay, like
It seems so theatrical. And I was like, okay, as I'm watching the ladies' expressions,
yeah.
I'm trying to figure out like Angela obviously is doing something. No, okay, before I give you my theory,
Okay.
you think Angela did this to herself? And why do you think Angela did
Okay.
it?
Well, let me, because it's obvious that she alleged that Phaedra was the person who who set this up. Me personally, Phaedra is a liar. Period. We know she's a liar. That is a given fact. We know that Phaedra lies. However, do I think she was the person who set this up? No. I'm gonna be honest. I just don't. I don't think she was around the girls long enough to be able to do something like that. Well, no shade. Hold on. Because now I'm thinking about it. They did have that tussle about, who looks how old and, so, Phaedra, she clocked in. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know.
To introduce her into the group, production has to ask her
Who
her
does she-
honest
yeah.
opinions just based on hearsay
Mhm.
until she actually does get to know the girl. So, we know Phaedra is Phaedra. She's
Yeah.
going to throw shade wherever she can get a little 1-2, 1-2.
A little 1-2 moment, honey.
But I don't think she did it either.
I don't think she did it. Now, as far as who, I don't think well, Brett was kind of sitting there kind of quiet.
Dougie.
But Brett and Angela don't really have any beef, do they?
Dougie.
What?
Can I tell you my theory?
Please give me your theory. I would love to hear it.
And like I said, it's crazy getting on social media and seeing other people's opinions,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody really. Because the thing is, I told you before,
Mm-hmm.
when I watch the show, I watch it and I try to judge it on what I see
Yeah.
instead of going to social media and formulating
Yeah.
my opinion. But as I watched it, and after I watched it, I went to Twitter just to see if other people were kind of
Picking up.
picking up
Yeah.
what they were putting down. So I honestly think Britt Edie
You think so?
is the one behind everything.
Really?
I think I'm crazy because I keep thinking about it over and over. And I'm like,
You know what? She was sitting there kind of quiet though.
very
now I think about
quiet,
it.
very
And she was-
quiet.
Looking around like, what's going on? You know how she does.
And you know what I think happened when Angela got to Marcus and they sat him down and was like, okay, you need to tell us who sent you because you're, I don't know, they saying Angela's part of the mob now, and she sent people over to break his legs
Honey, 'cause
now.
She
and
told us I got people who care about me.
as
Hello?
you should, as you should.
Angela, don't come for me, honey. I ain't got nothing bad to say. Please.
But and I'm saying allegedly because we don't need Britt coming and suing us for the little bits I got.
Hello.
Okay, you can get you a little lemonade, but I ain't got nothing for you. But I just think it
Get
was.
you a catfish platter from OLG, honey.
I really think it was Britt, and I think, like I said, when they went to go sit with Marcus, Marcus didn't want to say, so he showed her the name.
Yeah.
And I do believe he told her the truth that it was Britt. Now, Drew, we know Drew is an actress, huh? We know she's an actress.
You know Drew is gonna turn it on.
And she knows a good script now. I feel
She
like
probably
this
did.
was Angela used Drew, or Drew came up with the idea to set this stage up.
You think so?
I think it was Drew's
Oh,
work.
honey, you gotta hold. Let me sit. Let me sit up in my seat.
I think Drew was the executive producer. She was the writer. of this production that we saw play out.
Okay.
Um, as soon as she gave Britt, and if it was Britt, she gave Britt many opportunities to speak up and
Okay.
to say it was me. I honestly think Angela is very forgiving and understanding.
Yes.
Even with the whole Portia thing, I think she just saw it for what it was and would told Portia, okay, I see you
Yeah.
and I know where to keep my distance.
But Angela knew that Portia was not going to touch no charge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, with that being said, Britt and Angela, like you said, hadn't had any situations.
Yeah.
So I think Angela understood what was being done. She knows that Britt sent Marcus to Kelly's event and just used Angela and her husband and her situation as collateral damage.
Okay.
You just sent Marcus to do all that and to make it seem as if you were mad that she was getting close to Shamia. You just wanted to ruin her event. She didn't invite you. That's why I think it's Britt. And then when Angela started going off on Phaedra,
Okay.
people were confused. And I was confused. I'm not going to lie. I was confused. But I feel like Phaedra picked up on it.
Yeah.
And then especially when Angela said that Phaedra gave her the information, Phaedra's not going to be, she's going to be tight with her scheming now. She's not going to give the person she tried to hurt their information.
Yeah, I know.
So did you notice that she thanked her for coming
Yeah.
and introducing her to the group?
Yeah.
I'm not sure why everybody's like, who did it? Can you explain like why people might think it was Drew or think that Angela did it to herself or why they thought Kelly did it? It just seemed off.
Something about just it was the whole tussle with Charles. You know, Charles, of course, came over and he's like, "No, you need to leave. You need to leave. You know, she's trust me. You know, she's." So I'm like, okay, Angela. My thing is, if this is the man that really allegedly, you know, what I'm saying, has real information on your marriage, why would you necessarily want him to stay in this event, especially when you see that the man you care oh so much about and that you just would die for, Charles Oakley, is just visibly and audibly upset that this man is here. I just felt like if it was all of that, let him leave. You know what I'm saying? Let him go. You girls can meet up at a restaurant maybe later or another day and revisit this topic without Charles being there or at Charles's event. But something about the whole just like, no, he has to do this now. No, you know, and I'm kind of like, what in the world? You know what I'm saying? And then, because all the girls is looking like, what in the world is going? You know what I'm saying? I just felt like something about that just gave me like, Angela, girl, you just trying to, you know what I'm saying? You just want a little gag moment at your event.
Oh,
you know what I'm
wanted
saying?
to carry a peach
You
into
see what
the
I'm
next
saying?
season.
And she didn't necessarily have to do that in order to carry her peach, but I felt like she knew that her marriage was the juiciest peach of the season, and so she needed something to like end it with a bang. And so it kind of felt like you set this up to, you know what I'm saying, carry
Keep
that.
us talking.
You see what I'm saying? I just didn't feel like none of the girls really cared enough to go through that, because my thing is they've tried. Portia has said that she would try Charles. You know what I'm saying? They have alleged that Charles had a maybe baby. They had alleged infidelity. They did all this kind of stuff, and it was clear all season that was your man, and you're gonna stick beside him. So I feel like at that point, everybody kind of just gave up. Like, girl, Angela's not your leaving. So it's like now all of a sudden that you want to bring this man in here, and you want to do this whole, no, he has to tell us, he has to talk about it. I'm kind of like, girl, you know what I'm saying? Who really cares? So I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
And you know, also I think Portia understood. They've been together for years now. Portia, you've had 2 marriages, and they haven't lasted too long. So I think she understood that. Now that's why I said Charles did get hype at the function. Now he
Charles
did get
went up like a skyrocket.
But think about this. Charles didn't give the reaction that he should have gave when Marcus was first on the scene. Because he didn't
know Marcus.
He didn't know
Marcus.
him, and he didn't hear him. Apparently, he didn't hear him what he said.
Which is crazy.
Just imagine if Charles would have went off at that event, at Kelly's cooking event. It would have made it. It would have caused so much commotion to where nobody would have really figured out, got down to the bottom of it. Because mind you, the intention of Marcus coming was to get things started.
Right.
Since Charles didn't hear him and everything was mellowed out, Kelly kicked him out because she heard him.
Yeah.
And only Angela heard it. What I think happened is that Angela was in on it. She told Charles to get hype when she saw him. And now, Dougie, does this sound out of the way, or am I thinking?
Not necessarily. I mean,
I think Charles was in on it because they went out, they were in a room by themselves, whatever. I think Angela is a smart woman. She's not going to allow her husband to get hype and possibly see this man at their event for nothing. She wanted that reaction out of Charles to kind of put in contrast of what could have happened at Kelly's event. Okay. Like I said, I think Britt is the one. She sat there, and even Angela was like, well, even me and you, Britt, I didn't, I thought you did it. And so then she went on to say, no, I'm a married woman. I would never.
Allegedly.
Now.
Allegedly.
I think at that point I said, okay, you're foul. You really are going to let people go down and really preserve this fraud of a marriage?
Well, I mean, they've lied for less, haven't they? It wouldn't be the first marriage debacle, child.
Britt, you have put us on an emotional roller coaster this season, and I can't wait for somebody to say it was you, just so I can say, it feels good to say you were right about something. Yeah.
So I mean, it really won't matter because her peach is gone, but hey.
But it was crazy.
The peach is juiced.
Because, like I said, she waited that whole time to. Angela gave her moment after moment, and if this was Drew's doing of this screenplay, bravo, Drew, because you were smart about it. But and then when Angela went over to and accused Phaedra of it, Phaedra caught on real quick. And did you see that nudge that Kelly gave Shamia?
Gave Shamia.
They all knew that it was Britt. And if Britt would have just said, wait, y'all, it was me. Angela, I sent him to ruin Kelly's event and didn't realize the impact that it would have on you and Charles. Yeah. I would have respected Britt, and I think she could have saved face, and it would have been a great reunion. And now I don't know if she would have been there next season, but it would have gave us a great reunion if she would have just owned up to it.
So then why make Phaedra the scapegoat?
Why make Phaedra? I think Angela just did it because
I feel like Phaedra was already problematic. She's already had a really big scandal, so it probably wouldn't be, too far off to assume that she could stoop so low or do something so crazy. So I guess it makes sense.
I said,
Britt Edie, honey, that peach is juiced.
Britt,
I can't believe
you
just
it was fumbled.
Her. I really do hope I hope they reveal who did it. Seriously.
And just mind you, they left the event, and as soon as Shamia started calling her a liar, I think, and I'm jumping all around because there was a lot to it. Yeah. Even in the after show, did you watch the after show?
I didn't watch the after show.
I watched the after show, and she was squirming in her seat when they were talking about the event because she's sitting with Portia and Phaedra, and they got
Shamia?
No. Britt. I'm sorry.
Okay. You're fine.
Britt, Portia, and Phaedra are sitting together, discussing the events that happened, and she's so puny in her seat as if she did something wrong, and she's just kind of like, like. And Phaedra and Portia are going back and forth talking about friendship and the limits that people will go and preserving friendship, and she's just kind of like,
okay, well,
I'm telling you, Dougie, body language. I pay attention to body language.
Why'd you do that? Oh my gosh!
I'm just like, oh, Britt. But I think Angela was going to save it at least save that conversation for the reunion since we're going to lay everything out. Yes, it was the finale,
I mean, yeah.
but she gave her the opportunity then and there to address it, and she was confused at who Junebug was too. I don't think she was expecting Marcus
Like,
to say,
Junebug is crazy.
Junebug
Girl,
my
you know what I'm
cousin.
saying? Like,
Junebug is my cousin.
Junebug is the crackhead on the street of 3rd and Race. No shade. Like, come on.
Shoot, if I knew Junebug was up to this, if I knew Junebug knew the people in Atlanta, me and Junebug would have got something started.
Every hood got a Junebug.
But
which one?
It was just insane. It was crazy. Like I said, many opportunities to say it, and I do believe Angela was saving that for the reunion for them to discuss it and for her to own up to it. I think Angela understands this game. She's been into it too long, and she's been saying, maybe the first couple of times that they asked me to be on the show, I wouldn't have done it, but I stand behind my husband and I support him, and we just got to fall in line. Yeah. She's not leaving Charles anytime soon.
That's evident. So, I mean, I guess Junebug, honey, don't do it again, please. If you can hear me, please don't do it again.
Oh, but
this is just, I don't know. So, all in all, are you finished with the episode?
Yes.
It's like,
yes.
Are you sure? I'm just
production is wild because they said that what the ladies have been up to after the finale.
Oh yes, the closing remarks. Like it's a church service. Closing remarks. Okay, girl.
They were very shady.
It was very shady.
And I'm trying to figure out, like, Britt, are you just suing because of embarrassment and how you looked? You could have really recovered, because they were funny when they said she's trying to put out her bare naked so y'all can be snatched like her.
Hello. She needs that startup deposit.
Oh, goodness. But
she needs a startup deposit.
But
and they said Angela sold, like, what, 3 or 5 homes?
Well,
3 of the 5 homes, which is good. The other 2 went into foreclosure, though.
Oh,
no shade.
Well, that's fine. As long as she don't get that burden on her anymore.
I mean, you may not get your $2 million back, but you probably got half of one. So we'll take it.
At least you can run to the store and get you some ingredients, make you a little meal.
Hello.
You're not starving.
Now's the time to start cooking.
Yep.
You've upset Charles. Yes, you have. So maybe a steak and eggs.
Dougie is crazy. Dougie is crazy. Well, yes.
And, okay, last thing. Mm-hmm. I was honey, Portia was cheesing down. We finally got to see up inside the house, honey, because she won that, she won her alimony with Mr. Gubadia.
What is it, 40,000 a month?
40,000 a month,
I
and
believe.
Like spousal support, and then she gets to stay in the home. She gets to film and stay in the home, I think, for like another year or year and a half or something like that. And then either she has to like purchase the home herself, or she has to like find somewhere else to go or something like that. So she got a pretty good chunk out of it.
Because the house is in foreclosure.
Or I don't think so.
I think something had to do with Simon owing the bank.
Home. Yes.
And then since she got the home in the settlement, that is now her problem.
Basically.
So I didn't even know she had those 2 options to buy herself. I just thought it was her. She owned.
Or maybe don't get me wrong. I'm
Portia,
trying to recall. Either way it goes, she's in the home. She can stay in the home for a little while, and we can film in it. So yes, we'll take it.
Let me say this about Portia. Don't you think it's crazy that Housewives is a big part of pop culture?
Yeah.
Because they know so many people down in Atlanta and everything. But I think it's crazy how we went from thinking the Underground Railroad was really underground.
And 265 days a year.
To Portia coming to good old Kentucky, horse capital of the world, and getting locked up in Louisville. To marrying someone who is now being detained by ICE. She has just been relevant through the...
And all of them are a mess.
And her grandfather being, Hosea Williams, a civil rights activist. Portia's just really stayed in the mix of current events and pop culture. Portia,
which is why, you can't help but, respect her when it comes to the Housewives game. She does it well.
And got that house. I'm not mad at anybody that solidified a house and home and a life.
Especially all she had to go through to even get in that space or be in that home. Honey, she did what she had to do. So I'm never upset with it. I give it to her.
I wonder, will they ever give Fallon the time of day? Will Bravo ever give Fallon the time of day, or do you think they're doing? Yeah, I don't think that. I don't even know I said that. They're not going to entertain
No,
Fallon.
they're not standing up Valley. No shade.
Now, something I do want to talk about really quickly before we get
Mm-hmm.
off of here. What do you think? I'm really loving as the season comes to a close and we start talking about the reunion.
Right.
Um, how do you think Bravo? What do you think Bravo needs to do to shake up things when it comes to reunions in general? Or because one thing that I did like and that I saw this season, I don't know if you know Justin Diego with Bingeworthy.
Yes.
Something that they started doing, and I guess publicly, is allowing YouTubers and vloggers to come and be a part of the events.
Oh, cool.
And they're actually being invited because he was saying, Kelly's people invited him to the
Cooking event.
the cooking event at someone else's event.
Okay.
He's getting all these invitations. So I'm really liking how we kind of have that extra perspective
Yes.
coming from someone who was actually there, who is a fan of the show like we are.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think it's getting stale with Andy being host.
That, and I also do believe he can. There are some points where he can be a little biased.
And this is not to tear down Andy. I think Andy does a great job.
I think he does a great job, and I think with someone like him, they are able to be a little more willing or giving of information because it's Andy. You know what I'm saying? They know that Andy is a large part of the Bravo verse and, whatever, and they have personal relationships with him, so they trust him and stuff like that. So I definitely think that's a thing. However, I do believe that there is room for, guest host or, maybe like a co-host or maybe like I'm not saying Andy has to retire fully. But I do think that there are people who they could usher in to be able to, like if Carlos King could do one, like
Thank you.
I would really enjoy him because he also has a lot of personal relationship with these girls. You know what I'm saying? And I really enjoy his opinion on a lot of like Bravo type commentary because he has like extra knowledge that a lot of us aren't privy to.
That's what I was going to
Yeah.
say is Carlos King is doing a phenomenal job with these interviews.
Yes.
I mean, he's pulling people that Andy needs to be having one-on-ones with. If Andy is going to be that guy
Yeah.
and host these, I said, Nene, if Nene is entertaining coming back, she needs to put in her contract that Carlos King come with her. Because I think it's just about time.
Well, yeah, because I also feel like he shows a lot of like attention and detail to the girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, of course, Housewives is gonna be messy, but I feel like he also tries to keep into account, like, you know what I'm saying, how far to go, and he asks questions that are like relevant to what it is that we know they're dealing with. Like, I don't necessarily like, okay, you're beefing with someone, get in, we want to get into the whole, the whole picture. I don't necessarily just want the surface level. Like, I want to really get into it, and that's why I enjoy watching him because I feel like when he has conversations with the girls, he really like gets into like the whole, you know what I'm saying?
And he's a fan of all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he was being interviewed by someone and he mentioned, he has a relationship with Teresa Giudice from Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Yeah.
And him producing someone else on that show and one of them leaving and saying, well, I told production that because he was friends with, be careful now. It's a little lemon seed.
It's okay, try to take, it's on the floor now, sorry. It's okay.
But yes, he just has that. That housewife saying, I have to go back and say and find out who it was that said it. But they were like, not having Carlos King produce me was the worst decision that I ever made.
Yeah.
And Carlos plays in different franchises. He knows the women of Potomac. He knows the women of Atlanta, Married to Medicine, and all the other franchises. So I just wanted to ask you about your opinion on that.
No, yeah.
I think
feel like there's room.
I think it's about time, especially with all these lawsuits and everything coming to Bravo.
Yeah.
I think it's just time to change some things. So
I think it'd also be kind of fun to have like other housewives of like different franchises come in and host.
yes,
Or maybe like old housewives who like aren't like, if we could have maybe Candy do a reunion, maybe that. I know you live for the Candy Cody clique. That's your tea. Speaking of which, no shade, Candy's not coming back if Carlos King is the host, because y'all know Candy has made it clear that she does not fool with Carlos King. So what is the Just Kick It crew gonna do about that? I would love to hear your commentary. Because you are Candy down, honey. TK is the leader of the Candy Cody gang, honey.
I wear that crown proudly.
Proudly. That's right.
So, I would love to see Candy host a reunion, but Candy left us on a
Sour note.
unsolved situation between her and her castmate.
Okay.
I wouldn't even feel right her coming back to host if she didn't resolve the issue with Phaedra.
Yeah.
So unless it was a new era or a new wave of housewives, and she just came in as kind of like the mother of housewives history.
Mother of the Atlanta house.
Well, mother of Atlanta. She ain't got to be Atlanta housewives.
Because she's worldwide.
Okay.
Hello.
So, I would love that. Now, Nene, if we didn't get Nene back in the capacity of a full-time housewife, I'm sorry. Nene's doing too much work to not be in good graces with Bravo for them to just go on and bring her back. It's enough. It's enough.
But is Bravo ready for Nene is my question. Because y'all know she's going to make them cut that check. Because when she comes back, those ratings are going to skyrocket.
It's only ratings, yes, because the ratings have not been the best. At least
that's what people want.
That's what we want.
That's what we want. Let's be honest.
And for people to be telling the fans, no, it's not going to happen. No, we will stop watching.
Hello.
I don't know about me, but I'll be nosy because I want to see what's happening. But will I be a faithful fan? Probably not. But even if we had Nene come back in the capacity of hosting something, because she knows the girls.
After shows.
That's what I'm saying. But she would take Watch What Happens Live. I at least want Andy Cohen to keep Watch What Happens Live, because if he ain't, I don't never want to see a person lose their job now. I'm just
Bravo's
saying.
not gonna give him no Andy now, child. Andy's always gonna have a job with Bravo.
But that's how Andy got Watch What Happens Live jumping, was because he had Nene on there. So it shows Nene brings the ratings.
She brings it.
So Bravo, hopefully you hear from us. Hear from your crew down here.
Bravo, bring me. Call me. Give me my phone number. Who do I have to call to put my name in the ring? Because I'ma do it.
Because we know we've been studying this formula for quite a while.
So I'ma do it.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Well, y'all tune in next.
We have reunion next.
I'm so
my
excited.
gosh, I'm so excited.
They say Portia delivered now.
They say she carried. So we'll see.
Yes, I'm excited. So tune in next week.
All right, see you all next week.
Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.